Hi, Tamika here, and I wanted to make a quick video to teach you how to become a champ in your business. So, I've been in the network marketing industry for over 10 years, and I have found that creating a simple DMO, daily method of operations, is key in having success in your business. So, I'm going to try and keep this very quick. I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm just going to kind of explain what the different pieces are. If you can do it all every day, more power to you, but it's really meant to give you check-in spots and be able to track what you're doing. So depending on what your focus is, if you want to focus on customers, if you want to focus on growing a team, then you might focus on different areas. But this is everything that I have found helps me build a successful organization. So the first thing I like to do when I wake up in the morning is write down at least three things that I'm grateful for on these three lines here. I like to write down three daily affirmations, and then what are my three top priorities. A lot of times, if I can write down, what's causing me stress or what's feeling heavy on me of the things that I have to get done today, then once they're written down, then my body can kind of release it and then I can move forward. Okay. And if you've ever read the book Eat the Frog First, maybe those are the three things that you really don't want to do that day that are going to be your three top priorities that you get done first. Okay. You're going to write down the date here in this spot here. Obviously, not a ton of room, but if you're just writing the month and the day, just the numbers, you're good to go there. And then kind of mapping out your day. So whether you are working this full time, and for me, when I was working full time, I needed to map out my day. Otherwise, the day would get away from me between, doing dishes, doing laundry, cleaning the house. Maybe I'm watching a show in there, whatever it is. If I didn't schedule in my work, all of a sudden the day was over. And when I am now working my business, but also working a full-time job, I've got to make sure that I time block. I got to make sure that I use the time that I have available to get done the things I need to do to build my business. So when you wake up in the morning or the night before you go to bed, you're just going to kind of fill in what's your agenda? When are you going to get the things done? Okay, now CHAMPS stands for check-in, health, action, marketing, and people. Now, busy people know how to manage their time. And so these are all in 15-minute blocks. So if you can sit down and do a power hour once a day, twice a day, three times a day, four times a day, depending on how much money you want to make doing these four different sections that are in the champ, then you're going to have massive success, massive momentum. They say that success loves speed. So the more times that you can do this, the better. But my goal is to at least do it one time a day. And if you are brand new to this industry, one time a day is great for starting good habits. So what does C stand for? C stands in for check, or I'm trying to go fast and I'm stumbling over my words. C stands for check-in. So you're going to set a 15-minute timer. And the reason why I set a timer is because then I am focused. Okay. If I'm like getting squirrel and doing this and doing that, and I don't see the clock ticking down, then I might spend way too long on something. So 15-minute timer is great. And the first thing you're going to do in the morning is check your back office. Okay. Over here, you're going to write down what's your team volume, what's your current team volume, what's your current personal volume, what's your current team number count, what's your customer count as of right now, and then what's your goal? Like how many new team members do you want to bring on today? How many new customers? And then over here, new leads, new friends, referral post conversations. I just like to do tally marks on there throughout the day as I'm doing the work. Then you'll see what I'm talking about there. Okay, but this beginning part, as far as your new team goal, your new customer goal, up to that spot, you can kind of fill that out first thing in the morning. So I looked at my numbers and I was like, all right, this is how many teammates I need, and this is how many customers I need to hit the next goal. And so that way I have intention when I'm working my business. Okay, C in the check-in also stands for checking any team chats. If you have a team page, if you have new teammates, checking in on them, just taking that time during that 15 minutes, just send a quick, hey, thinking of you, how's your day? Is there anything you need from me? Checking your team chats, making sure that you're caught up on all the recent stuff, any team groups that you have. Just taking a few minutes to check that, make sure that you know what's going on for the day. Check in with your existing customers. Send them a quick message. If you signed some customers last week, hey, have you received your product yet? Hey, did you take your before pictures? Hey, I'm really excited for you. Be sure you let me know when your product comes. Just letting them know that you're thinking of them. That's a great idea to take some time to check in with them. And then the last thing is referral business is the best business. Oh my gosh. So if you have not learned how to do referral posts, you can check my YouTube channel. There are lots and lots of different referral videos on there, but referral business is the best business. And so I like to do referral posts on stories. I like to do referral posts through Facebook. And so just to go in and check any of those referral posts, see if there's any new commenters, new likers, you can comment in the comments of the referral post, and that'll bump it back into their news feed. So I like to save all my referral posts to a collection. And so that way I just have them in a list and I can easily go in, bump things up, check the likers, check the commenters, and check in on those because, like I said, referral business is the best business nowadays. So that's what C stands for. Check in. Set a 15-minute timer. Maybe you just want to do 15 minutes of only referral posts. Maybe you want to do 15 minutes of just messaging existing customers because you have that many of them. But whatever your priority is, whatever your goals are for the day, that's what you want to focus in on the check-in part. Okay, now because of the acronym CHAMPS, health kind of happens throughout the day. A lot of my health happens first thing in the morning when I wake up. I do my gratitude, my journaling, my affirmations. I'm listening to personal development as I'm getting ready. I'll even listen to personal development, throw on a YouTube or an Audible book video while I'm working. So that way I'm listening to personal development as I'm doing this power hour. Exercise daily, move your body. Are you going for a walk? Are you standing on a shake plate? Are you going to the gym? Are you going to a class? Do you have a song that you like to dance to that can just get your energy right? But some way of moving your body every single day is important. And then taking your product. Okay, so if you sell any like skincare, health, wellness, like whatever it is, making sure that you are taking your product. So, not to say that health has to happen after the check-in, but like I said, just because of the way that you spell champs, health comes next and health will come throughout the whole entire day. Okay, A stands for action. So you're going to set a 15-minute timer and you're going to reach out to business potentials, business partner potentials, potential customers. You're going to add friends to a group. We call this ATM. You're going to add them to a group, tag them in a post, send them a message. Hey, I just tagged you in this post. I know you were interested in this product. Check out the testimonial from so and so. Let me know once you get in, or send me a thumbs up as far as what surprised you most about it. And so taking time to add friends to a group. And the thing I love about having these online communities is, once you've got that potential customer, that potential business partner, and you add them, they're going to see the wins of so many people that are outside of your network, and they're going to find somebody that they relate to. But because you added them to the group, they're going to come back to you and say, oh my gosh, I just saw Susan's post. Like, that's my story exactly. How do I get started on this product? Or I would love to be able to make an income doing this too. Like, how do I get signed up? And so taking time to take that action of kind of, following up with the people that you've connected with and making sure that you add them to a group and that you tag them in a post, a value post regarding something that they need. Okay. And then also follow up. So I have just one second. Okay. So I have this follow-up sheet that I've created. My other one is in the room, so this one's just blank, but just a follow-up sheet. So as I'm talking to these new leads and I'm getting new potential customers and new potential business partners, I put their names on a list. And so, here's my list from 2018. I've got a list from 2017, from 2020, from 21, 22, 23. This is the system that I use, like paper pencil. I love it. And so just going through these follow-up lists. Some of these friends have unfriended me, some of them have blocked me, some of them are still friends, some of them have ordered with me with past companies, and some of them, are in different phases of their life where maybe I asked them before, but it wasn't a good time, but now it would be a good time. So having a follow-up system and going through this list is a great thing to do when you're working your business every single day. Okay, so like I said, 15 minutes to take action. You in a business like this are only going to get paid when a person purchases something from you. I mean, we're not in a pyramid scheme, so people aren't just giving you money without any product or service in return. And so you're only going to make money, in my business, if I sign a new customer who wants to try the product, or I sign on a new teammate who purchases a product. Okay, I don't get money for just signing up somebody if they don't purchase anything. Okay, and so that's the action. That's the planting the seeds. And so making the ask is super important. I remember for me, my friend asked me and I said no. But because she asked, it was always in the back of my head that's like, maybe I could try that product. Maybe I could do that business. And then when the time came, I mean, it was about 6 months later, after she asked me the first time, that I finally was like, okay, tell me about your product. And I ordered it. And then it was 3 months, 4 months after that when I was like, okay, after I tried the product, she's like, hey, you want to do the business with me? I told her no. And then it was about 3, 4 months after that where I was like, okay, tell me about this business because I was just in a new phase of my life. But if she never would have asked, I would have never felt it was for me. So I don't care whether people say yes. I don't care if people say no. I don't care if people leave me on red. I don't care what the response is. My job is to make the ask. And so reaching out to potential business partners, as you're scrolling your news feed, who's taking selfies, who's positive, who's already sharing their health journey, who is on social media, like looking at your posts every day, and not monetizing it. Like those are the people that you're going to reach out to, potential business partners, potential customers. Hopefully you're using your product every day. You're posting about what you're loving. You're sharing your own story. You're sharing other people's stories. You're posting your stories. You could message those story viewers during this time. You could message people who have liked and commented on your post. You could even do what I call green light messaging, where that's where I just shoot a message to the ones who are online and I'm like, hey, I don't know if this would be something you're interested. I don't know if you've seen any of my posts, but if you're open to it, I'd love to tell you more about my products or my business. And as long as it feels like a good message that you would like to receive, then send it. You don't want to be spammy and you don't want to I don't know. My rule of thumb is if I would like to receive that message, then I'm going to send it. And so, for each person that I'm messaging, I'm going to change it a little bit depending on my relationship with them. Okay, so that is taking action 15 minutes. Now, if you can do that a few times throughout the day, maybe full 15 minutes for just business partners, a full 15 minutes for just customers, a full 15 minutes to add the people that you talk to in a group, a full 15 minutes to follow up. You could do a full power hour with just taking action. And then, like I said, over here on the tracking, as I get new leads. So as I make a post and people comment, new lead, new lead, new lead, and I'm doing little tally marks. How many new leads did I get that day? As we get down to marketing, or down to people, you're gonna see like new friends. Like we're gonna expand our network. We're always gonna be adding new people to see our stuff. So how many new friends got accepted? How many new friends did you send a request to? However you want to track that. How many referral posts did you get up? Tally marks go there. How many new conversations did you start? Tally marks go there. So this is how you're gonna track your business because you can't measure what you don't track. You can't grow what you don't measure. And so this is going to be very, very helpful for you. Okay, moving down into marketing. Okay, people need to know that you have a business. I messaged this one girl asking if she'd put up a referral post for me, and she said that she was part of a different company. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I would not have messaged you if I would have known. But I looked at her page, and there was nothing on there. I had no idea that she had a business. And so, making sure that you're posting on all the platforms that you're a part of. Okay, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Snapchat, like I don't know what you're a part of. I know that there are new platforms coming out all of the time, but making sure that you are posting on there every single day. So when you do that, you're going to check off this box. Making sure that you add your stories, personal, like what are you doing throughout the day today? I posted about, taking my supplements this morning. I posted about we took my kids to the rec center. They played basketball. I posted about what I had for lunch. I am attending a training, so I'm posting that in there. So just like it's basically my online vlog, my video vlog of my life of what I'm doing every day. I sprinkle in the business, I'm posting personal. That just makes people be able to relate to you. Okay. Doing your TikToks, your reels, your live, it's going to reach different people. You can always go to ChatGPT or YouTube and like learn how to do the hooks, learn how what's trending and making sure that you post those every single day, to be honest. I've been going live now for over a month every single day, and it's actually allowing strangers who will message me and they are ordering products. Why? Because I'm somebody they know, like, and trust. Because I'm showing up in my bathroom in the mornings and I'm getting ready. I'm talking about the funny things that happen in my math class and how I'm teaching it. I'm talking and showing my kids and my life. And so people, in fact, today, this is crazy. Okay, this just happened today. I had a friend who I've never met before who I got in touch with on social media and she messaged me. She said, hey, I'm in your town. Can I meet up with you and just hug you? And I was like, I would love that. So, I went to McDonald's and she was there and I hugged her and it felt so right. It felt so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I was consistent on social media, I got in contact with new people. She felt like she could know, like, and trust me. She's been a customer with me for a long time, and then I got to meet her for the first time today. So you just never know what doors and who's going to come into your space when you open yourself to that. Okay, another thing that you can do is post in a group, or if you have a text or email list, send out some type of value there, or some type of information, or before or after, something like that. That's another way to market. And if you have never done texting, I love my Project Broadcast. I have a link in my milkshake that you can get. And it's just a way, like, I'll have people text the word champ. If you text the word champ to my phone number, you're going to get this video and you're going to get the free download. If you text the word spoon, you're going to get the information about my skinny syrup. If you text the word, what's the other one? I have link, then you're going to get a link to all of my favorite products. And so there's just a whole bunch of ways that I can get people onto my list, whether it's email opt-in or whether it's texting a word to a phone number. So that's something that can really help you as far as marketing goes, reach a massive amount of people in a short amount of time. And then last is referral posts. So I'll send messages during this 15-minute timer. And once again, this is maybe something that I need a full 15 minutes for if I really want to grow my business. Okay, how many referral posts can I get up? And I'll just ask people like, hey, I'm trying to expand my network. Would you be willing to make a post for me in exchange to win this, and you could offer some type of giveaway, or maybe your team's offering a giveaway, or just like, hey, I'm trying to expand my business. Would you just be willing to make a post to help me out? And then you can give them a post about your product. You can give them a post about your business. They can post it on social media, tag you in it, and then that way you have access to their network, which is just so, so powerful. People that you would have otherwise never gotten in contact with, you can get into contact with these referral posts, which is why I say referral business is the best business. Um, and then just keep in mind that as complete strangers are commenting on these posts and you're messaging them like, hey, I'll send you a message, or hey, I'll send you the details, you're sending them a friend request. Remember, when they go to their page, to your page, what are they going to see? Well, guess what? They're going to see that you post on your platform every single day. They're going to see that you post personal and business. They're going to see you on the lives, having fun and seeing your face and hearing your voice. They're going to be like, okay, this is a real person. Okay, this is so and so's friend, and it is a real person. So yeah, I can respond, and yeah, this is somebody who I can know, like, and trust. Okay. Next thing is the people. People are the key piece of the business. Okay. So you want to make sure that you invest in people every single day. You want to send happy birthday messages to whoever's birthday it is, on Facebook, or in a text message if you have those things saved in your phone. You want to engage on the stories and in the news feed. So as you're scrolling the different news feeds, you want to like, you want to comment, you want to send personal messages when appropriate. So if someone has a beautiful Christmas tree, then you don't want to just say, I love your tree in the comments. You want to go in a personal message, say, oh my gosh, your tree is beautiful, and here's the reason why, and start that conversation. If someone has a birthday, you want to write happy birthday on their page. You want to send them a personal message. If someone went on a vacation, if somebody got a new haircut, it's great to like and comment on the post, but can you take it into a personal message? I did that the other day. My algorithms just seemed crazy. So I was like, hey, if you're seeing this, tell me what time you see this. And this post has right now over 80 comments on there. Okay. And it's still going. And so instead of just liking everybody who commented, I'm replying and saying, thanks so much for taking the time to do this. I'm sending them a personal message saying, thank you for doing that for me. And what is that going to do? Well, number one, it's going to tell the Facebook algorithms that I'm friends with that person. Like, we want to see each other. But also, it opens up the lines of communication so that later on, if I wanted to ask them to do a referral post, if I wanted to ask them to take a look at my products or take a look at my business, um, they know that I've already messaged them about something else. I've already been genuine, or given a compliment about something else. And so they're going to be more apt to respond, and they're going to be more apt to say yes. Okay. So that's where it says start conversations in the inbox. So, as you're going through the stories, or you're watching the TikToks and the reels, and, it's just one after another, and you see your friend, say something back to that on the story. So you're clicking through and someone posts a picture of their dog, instead of just looking at it and laughing, click on the comment box and say, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny," or "Your dog's so cute," or "What's your dog's name?" or "What type of dog is that?" or whatever it is. As you're going through the stories, engage. Okay, send a message to them. Once again, it's gonna mix up some things in the messages, so that way when you do send them a message about your business, they know that you've been personal with them before. Adding new friends. So and that goes back to starting conversations in the inbox. So one thing I'll do is I'm scrolling Facebook if I see a post that has a lot of likes and comments that one of my friends made, then I can go through those commenters or I can go through those likers and look at those people's profiles. Those people that are liking and commenting your friends' posts are people who are on that social media platform. They're not just the trolls that are just scrolling and never commenting. They're there, they're looking at things, they're engaging, they're commenting, they're liking, they're taking the time to do that. And those are the people that you want to put in your Facebook. So I don't always like to go to suggested friends because those people may not be active on there, but I'd like to go through the likers and commenters. And so, you don't want to do too many because then you will get put in Facebook jail. But if you click on someone's profile and you're like, oh my gosh, they're a mom like I am, or they live in the town nearby, or they enjoy this, or their kid does this and my kid does that, or whatever reason would be the reason why you feel like you could help them or why you want to connect with them or why you want to get to know them better, then send them a friend request. And so you can go ahead and put up here, as it tells you that this person has accepted your friend, or maybe you're just following new people. Like I said, I don't like to just go fall all the way down, right? Because that's not going to be adding quality into your network. I feel like quality is better than quantity in some cases. So just being aware and conscious of making sure that every day you're adding people to your network. And who are those people? You want them to be the people who you can help. And then the other thing I like to think of this as is like your lake. You know, every time you make a post, every time you send a message, every time you do a referral post, or not even a referral post, all those things, you're putting lines out into the water. Sometimes you're going to reel in and there's not going to be a fish on, so you're going to throw that bait back out and you're going to reel it in, no fish on. Sometimes you're going to reel it in and the bait's going to be gone. Okay, so you're going to send that message to the person who said that they were interested, and then you send the message and they never reply. Okay, so they took your bait and they left. But you want to make sure that you're always putting new fish into your pond. You want to make sure that you're trying different baits. You're trying different avenues. When you do those referral posts, it's almost like, hey, you gave your friend a fishing pole and say, hey, throw this in your lake. Hey, you throw this in your lake. The more lines you can have out with different types of, and I hate calling it bait because it's not like we're trying to like bait people into coming, but like you got to catch the eye of the right person at the right time. And so it's going to take a lot of tries to make that happen. Sometimes you're going to have the fish on the line. They're like, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want it. You send them the link. And then they never order. Fish got off. But guess what? That fish is still in your water. And so when you add them to these groups, when you send the follow-up message, when they see you having success in your stories, when they see you, being grateful and thankful on your social media, then they're going to come back. They're going to come back and they're going to order from you. Okay. And then the last thing that's on here is first message to new people. As people are accepting my friend request, or I see that like people have followed me, I'll just send them a quick message and be like, hey, thanks so much for accepting my friend request. I love getting social with new people here on Facebook, here on Instagram. I'd love to learn a little bit more about you, or or even you could just say, I love getting social with new people, so thanks for accepting it. You could send that first message to them, or you could ask a question and keep it going. So, success, track your wins. You can write down what your success is here. You can write down any notes down here. Over here, we already talked about tracking your business. Here's where you can just track some different posts. You're not expected to make all these posts every single day, but here's just like some ideas. And as you do it, check it off. You could invite people to a challenge. Could you do a step challenge, a water drinking challenge, a sleep challenge? Could you do, a eat healthy challenge, like anything like that, a skincare routine challenge or self-care? Can you do that once a month? Invite someone to a challenge or host a challenge. Ask a question. Okay. I just posted, I just got a new phone and I was like, oh, look what I just got. What kind of phone is everybody rocking? And people are commenting what kind of phone they have right now. Like just ask a question, ask a parenting question. People love that. Share a testimonial. Share one of your customers' results or your own personal results or someone on your team's results. Share your story. Okay. Talk about how you got started in the business. Talk about your success or your journey on a certain product. Shout out a teammate, share their story. Shout out something that they're doing amazing. Thank a customer. Customers love it when you publicly thank them and appreciate them. Post a giveaway like we talked about. What are you giving away this month and how can people get entered? Maybe they could set up a free account with you. Maybe they could make a referral post. Maybe they could watch a video. Maybe if you get them added to a group, then they can get entered. But posting some type of giveaway, can you do that once, twice, 3 times a month? A curiosity post is kind of like leaving people like, what is that? Tell me more. A value post is where you're really explaining how this can help them and how it can change their life. Post a funny meme. I have a friend who does funny memes every Monday, and people comment their funny memes, and those always go really far. And then a value post in a group. So are you part of, different groups? I'm part of travel groups. I'm part of a cello group, a math teacher group, a Disneyland group. Can you go in there and either ask a question or post something of value? If you're in exercise or health groups, can you post a recipe? Can you post a workout? Can you post a piece of gym equipment that you like to use? So this is just different ideas and different ways that you can post and what to track and to track what you've been doing. And then finally, trainings, meetings, events, keeping track of, what team trainings do you have, and even personal meetings, like what do you have going on that day? Do your kids have games, or like what's happening? Obviously, you'll track it over here as far as what time it is, but how are you investing in your personal growth? Your business growth and development that way. Okay, so keep track of your points for the day. This is just, I mean, if you're a red-green personality and you like the check boxes, then you're gonna love this. So I hope that it's helpful for you. This video went a little bit longer than I wanted, but I've got a tracker sheet if you want a tracker sheet. We've got the champs. I also have something called the 5 keys to succeed. I don't have that one with me here, but that's a way to track your healthy habits, mindset, nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, and supplementation. So those are my 5 keys to succeed. And there's a little fun tracker to go along with that. If you're needing some consistency, you can actually just text the word keys to my phone number and it'll send it to you right there. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me personally, and I will see you at the top because you're going to become a champ in your business. Bye.